So just in time for Christmas, I purchased this 97.5 GSX Limited, otherwise known as the Gray Ghost. It was the first year they put the big 951 engine in these skis. It's a 8-foot hull, so it's shorter than the GTIs, which means it'll be pretty fun on the water with a big engine and a shorter ski. You put those two things together and it should be hell on wheels. The hull's in pretty good shape. Pump all looks to be intact. I'm assuming the wear ring will need to be replaced. That's standard stuff there. The engine compartment is a complete mess. There's water all in there. It's possible this ski may have sunk. The engine does run spray premix in the carburetors, and it kicks over. So it's not seized, but I'm assuming the engine's going to have to be rebuilt one way or another. Exhaust manifold was partially taken off. Somebody was trying to fix something, maybe the starter motor or something else, but that's a sign of some trouble and work ahead, but I knew that. This engine's got 2 carburetors underneath. Exhaust is on top, big heavy exhaust. That's one of the biggest pain in the necks on these skis is the big exhaust. And then ray valves here. So looks like they've already replaced the old fuel lines, but I can tell not a lot of stainless steel down there. That stuff's all rusted. So that'll need going through. So all of this will have to be completely redone in here. So the next thing I'm going to do is start taking this exhaust out, take the carburetors off. I'm going to pull the heads off, have a look at the pistons. I know what I'm probably going to find, but it's eventually going to be pulling the engine out and just going through the whole engine. This looks like it's so the white stuff indicates that's the original 951 engine was the white engine, and there were problems with that. So, but you can see the jugs and the case are silver, and the front magneto cover there is white. So I don't know if this is a silver engine. I didn't think the white heads would work on a silver engine. But if it's not, then it's probably the heads or the cylinders, and the case has been replaced. Don't know. I'm not even sure how to tell the difference at this point because this is pretty new to me. So next step is to start taking this apart and working on it. Should be a really fun project. Pretty excited about this. I've been looking for one of these for about a year now, and one popped up near me, and so I went and got it. For starters, I'm going to take this exhaust off. 2 hoses here, and it looks like, not sure why that this is stuck onto the exhaust manifold, but I'm going to take it all off in one piece so I can get to the carburetors. And I'm either going to take those off today, or if it's more than I want to get into right now, I at least want to spray this engine down with some silicone and oil just to prevent any further corrosion. Not that it matters, because this whole thing's going to have to be gone through. So I'll do that next. There's a bolt up underneath here that's a real pain in the neck to get to. No surprise there. It's actually a nut that holds this on. So this is almost free in one unit to come out now. The only thing that's blocking it is this ray valve. And so I'm just going to take both of these ray valves off since I need to do it anyway. It's just a couple of Allen heads. And then when I take those off, I should be able to pull this whole exhaust pipe out. Got those off. That's what they look like. There's a piston at the top, and that valve opens and closes and restricts or expands the exhaust port. So at low RPMs, they close down, and at high RPMs, they open up. And you have to clean them so that they operate correctly. And if you rebuild the top end and you bore out your cylinders, apparently you have to cut these edges back a little bit or they stick too far in the cylinders and they'll catch the piston rings. One more little zip tie to cut there. Oh, I've seen these things are kind of a bitch to get off. All right, I'm going to have to turn the video off while I wrestle with this thing. I'm going to heat it up with a heat gun to get it off. Did not have to heat it up with a heat gun. I just got a good grip on it and pulled it off. So now this whole thing comes free and clear. Set this down here. Now I can get to the carburetors, have a better look at the engine. I see a whole bunch of little leaves and acorns, stuff like that, which tells me that it was, I mean, the fact that it's dry leaves in here doesn't necessarily mean those were from sinking, but it's probably just been left out in the open with no seat cover on it and just collected all that stuff, but things like that in there. And the journey continues. Just a couple of things looking at it. Down here, I don't really care about the carbon seal because I'll replace that anyway, but this through-hull fitting looks a little suspicious, like it's been broken and fixed and resealed. Not a big deal. And then I kind of expected this, but this little plate right there is where the oil pump usually goes. And that nice pretty blue color there means that some owner in the past has decided to run premix instead of the pump, which explains why there's also no oil tank in there. So I don't know if I'm going to leave it that way. I don't mind running premix. I'd rather put the oil pump on it. So I think I'm going to try to reinstate that oil pump because I like them. They work out pretty good if you take care of them. This is just for me to remember. There's a little line here that goes to this hose. I don't know where that goes. It's probably goes up to a little port on the outside of the hull, maybe down here. Yep, there they are. Maybe, I don't know. That could be the old battery port. So, but anyway, just want to make sure I got two of these. I got this one, which I know went to the exhaust pipe, and then I got to remember this one does not go to the exhaust pipe. It goes to this part of the air box system. All right, so I plugged off some of the holes. I've sprayed storage oil in the spark plug holes and cranked it over. I put a battery in it just to get oil in the cylinders best I could. Not that it's going to matter, but you know, I'm giving it every fighting chance to any corrosion. Completely sprayed the engine down with oil and electronics with silicone. Before that, I took a leaf blower and compressed air, and I dried out the engine compartment as best I could. The shiny stuff you see at the bottom is really oil. It's not water. I think all the water's dried out. What I have determined, though, is that I believe this ski has been sunk because there was water in places that water shouldn't get to. So, you know, that kind of means, you know, who knows what condition the engine is in, but I think it was a sunk ski, which is fine. You know, still a gray ghost and still has a 951 engine, so we're going to go from here.